Princess Charlotte has become a symbol of this generational shift. Her public appearances have always been characterized by her poise and composure. But behind the polished image lies a young royal navigating the pressure of her circumstances. Will she embrace her role as part of William's vision for a modern monarchy? Or will she resist, seeking to carve out her own path? The question is one that no one can answer yet, but it's clear that Charlotte's reaction carries significant weight. Her silent struggle mirrors the very challenges facing the royal family. How to balance tradition with the demands of an evolving world. Meanwhile, Queen Camilla's struggle highlights another layer of this unfolding story. After decades of public scrutiny, Camilla's promotion to Queen Consort was meant to be the crowning moment of her journey. Yet as Prince William consolidates his power, Camilla finds herself increasingly sidelined. For someone who worked tirelessly to secure her place in the monarchy, her exclusion is both frustrating and symbolic. The younger generation, William and Catherine, have taken center stage, leaving Camilla questioning her legacy. While her title remains intact, her influence is fading, and many are left wondering if this marks the beginning of the end of her role as a key player in the monarchy. Behind closed doors, insiders suggest that King Charles and Camilla are facing growing strain in their relationship. As Charles leans on William and Catherine to lead, Camilla's frustrations have only deepened. While the public remains largely unaware of this silent battle, the cracks are becoming harder to ignore. Charles may have intended to secure the monarchy's future by elevating William, but in doing so, he has inadvertently left Camilla on the periphery. Will she fight to reclaim her place, or will she accept her diminishing role within the palace? The future of the monarchy hangs in the balance, and every decision made now will have lasting consequences. Princess Charlotte, a key to the monarchy's future. Princess Charlotte's story is more than just a footnote in the royal family's journey. It's a reflection of the delicate balance between old traditions and the new world William is working to create. At such a young age, Charlotte is already grappling with the pressures of being part of one of the world's most watched families. The royal household has spent years carefully crafting her public image, presenting her as poised, mature, and ready for the responsibilities she will inevitably face. Yet William's bold decisions have made her role far more complex, and Charlotte now faces a crossroads that could define her place in the monarchy for decades to come. As William and Catherine rise in prominence, Princess Charlotte is left to wonder what this means for her future. Once seen as part of the supporting cast to her older brother, Prince George, Charlotte is now being viewed in a new light. Her father's modern vision for the monarchy means that the expectations placed upon her are evolving. No longer just a child in the background, Charlotte is increasingly positioned as a key figure in the monarchy's future. But the question remains, how will she respond to the shifting tides of power within her family? The monarchy has always been defined by its ability to adapt to the times, but this transition has been anything but smooth. The silent tension between the older and younger generations of royals is impossible to ignore, and Princess Charlotte's reaction to her father's decisions has captured the public's attention. While Charlotte has often been praised for her grace and maturity beyond her years, this moment is testing her in ways that no young royal should have to endure. As William continues to reshape the monarchy's role in the modern world, Charlotte must find her footing amidst the chaos. Her journey is not just personal, it is symbolic of the greater challenges facing the royal family. Can Charlotte embrace the responsibilities that come with her position? Or will she push back against the weight of her family's expectations? Will she step forward and become an integral part of William's vision? Or will she quietly resist the changes that threaten to redefine her role? The choices she makes in these formative years could have far-reaching consequences, not only for herself, but for the monarchy as a whole. The royal family's journey has always been one of evolution, but the stakes have never been higher. With Prince William's decisions shaking the very foundation of the monarchy, the spotlight now falls on Charlotte. Her silent struggle represents more than just a personal challenge. It's a reflection of the monarchy's future. The decisions made today will shape the family's legacy for generations, and Charlotte is at the center of it all. Will she embrace her role as a modern royal, or will the pressures of palace life prove to be too much? As the dust settles on William's bold power play, the royal family stands on the brink of a new era. The rise of William and Catherine has shifted the balance of power, and the once unshakable traditions of the monarchy are being tested like never before. Princess Charlotte's journey through this transition will be pivotal, as she navigates the challenges of a rapidly evolving institution. The choices she makes now will determine not only her legacy, but also the future of the monarchy itself. The world is watching closely as this story unfolds. The pressure on William to lead the royal family into a new era is immense, but the challenges facing Princess Charlotte are equally significant. As her father consolidates power and reshapes the institution, Charlotte must find her place in this new world. Will she rise to the occasion and embrace her role, or will she resist the forces pulling her in multiple directions? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. Princess Charlotte's journey is far from over, and the future of the monarchy hangs in the balance. The royal household has spent years carefully crafting her public image, presenting her as poised, mature, and ready for the responsibilities she will inevitably face. Yet William's bold decisions have made her role far more complex, and Charlotte now faces a crossroads that could define her place in the monarchy for decades to come. As William and Catherine rise in prominence, Princess Charlotte is left to wonder what this means for her future. Once seen as part of the supporting cast to her older brother, Prince George, Charlotte is now being viewed in a new light. Her father's modern vision for the monarchy means that the expectations placed upon her are evolving. No longer just a child in the background, Charlotte is increasingly positioned as a key figure in the monarchy's future. But the question remains: how will she respond to the shifting tides of power within her family? The monarchy has always been defined by its ability to adapt to the times, but this transition has been anything but smooth. The silent tension between the older and younger generations of royals is impossible to ignore, and Princess Charlotte's reaction to her father's decisions has captured the public's attention. While Charlotte has often been praised for her grace and maturity beyond her years, the world is watching closely as this story unfolds. The pressure on William to lead the royal family into a new era is immense, but the challenges facing Princess Charlotte are equally significant. As her father consolidates power and reshapes the institution, Charlotte must find her place in this new world. Will she rise to the occasion and embrace her role, or will she resist the forces pulling her in multiple directions? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. Princess Charlotte's journey is far from over, and the future of the monarchy hangs in the balance.
If you look at the coronation footage, as the king and queen leave the thrones and head for the exit of Westminster Abbey on the coronation Saturday, you'll see that everyone bows and curtsies to the king, and no one moves a limb, a muscle, when Camilla passes. And that was because they were angry with Camilla. Camilla brought 20 Parker Bowleses to the coronation. There were 4 Middletons. All the people that helped Camilla get the crown on her head were excluded from that coronation, and they were furious. And not only that, Kate and William were angry too. And that anger, of course, Harry was angry, that anger went right through that small part of the congregation by the throne, by the centre of Westminster Abbey.
Princess Kate's refusal to curtsy to Queen Camilla during a recent public event has become a focal point of royal watchers and media alike, triggering a wave of speculation about what might be going on behind the closed doors of the British royal family. This incident, while seemingly minor, has brought to light the complexities of royal protocol, the relationships between senior royals, and the public's fascination with even the smallest gestures within the monarchy. For centuries, the British royal family has been steeped in tradition, with every move, gesture, and word often carrying significant weight. The act of curtsying, in particular, is more than just a polite gesture. It is a deeply symbolic act of respect and acknowledgement of rank within the royal hierarchy. The sight of Princess Kate, the wife of the future king, choosing not to curtsy to the current queen consort, was therefore a moment loaded with potential meaning. Observers at the event noted that as the royal family gathered, there was a palpable tension in the air. All eyes were on Kate as she approached Queen Camilla. Traditionally, as the Princess of Wales, Kate would be expected to show deference to Camilla, who, as Queen Consort, holds a higher rank. However, instead of the customary curtsy, Kate merely nodded politely before continuing on her way. The deviation from protocol was subtle, but in the world of royalty, where every gesture is scrutinized, it was enough to set off a flurry of rumors and discussions. Some insiders suggest that Kate's decision may have been influenced by a series of recent events that have strained her relationship with Camilla. It's no secret that the royal family has faced numerous challenges over the years, from the death of Princess Diana to the ongoing struggles with public perception and the media. These challenges have, at times, created rifts between different members of the family, and it's possible that these tensions are now playing out in public view. One potential source of tension could be the differing approaches Kate and Camilla have taken toward their royal duties. Kate, known for her modern approach and emphasis on mental health and children's issues, has become a beloved figure in the UK and beyond. Her calm demeanor and dedication to her role have won her widespread praise, particularly among the younger generation of royal watchers. On the other hand, Camilla's journey to becoming Queen Consort has been fraught with challenges, including her long and controversial relationship with King Charles, which was initially met with public skepticism. Over time, Camilla has worked hard to carve out her own role within the monarchy, focusing on issues such as domestic violence and literacy. Despite their different approaches, both women are united by their commitment to the monarchy and their families. However, the recent incident suggests that there may be underlying differences in how they view their roles and each other. Some sources close to the royal family have hinted that there may have been disagreements over how certain royal duties should be handled or how public appearances should be managed, leading to a build-up of tension that finally surfaced in this public moment. This isn't the first time that the British royal family has found itself at the center of public scrutiny due to interpersonal dynamics. The relationship between Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Diana, for example, was often portrayed as complex, with Diana's popularity and modern approach sometimes clashing with the traditionalism of the monarchy. Similarly, the relationship between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and the rest of the royal family has been a source of intense media interest and public debate, particularly after the couple's decision to step back from their royal duties and the subsequent revelations about their experiences within the family. In many ways, the monarchy's public image is shaped as much by these personal relationships as by official duties and public engagements. The British public, and indeed people around the world, have a deep fascination with the royal family, viewing them not just as leaders, but as symbols of continuity, tradition, and national identity. As such, any sign of discord or deviation from the norm within the family is often magnified, leading to intense speculation and debate. The incident involving Kate and Camilla has also highlighted the challenges that come with navigating the complex world of royal protocol. While the rules and traditions of the monarchy are designed to maintain order and respect, they can also be a source of tension, particularly when personal feelings come into play. In this case, Kate's decision not to curtsy may have been a way of asserting her own identity and independence within the rigid structure of the royal family. The British royal family, with all its grandeur and tradition, is often seen as a symbol of continuity and stability in a rapidly changing world. Yet incidents like the one involving Princess Kate and Queen Camilla reveal the human side of this storied institution, where personal relationships and emotions intersect with the demands of duty and protocol. The refusal to curtsy might seem like a small act, but in the context of royal life, it carries significant weight, shedding light on the complexities and challenges that come with being part of such a unique and scrutinized family. As the public and media continue to speculate on the meaning behind this moment, it serves as a reminder that the royals, despite their elevated status, are not immune to the intricacies of personal dynamics. The balance between upholding tradition and navigating modern relationships is a delicate one, and this incident underscores the ongoing evolution of the monarchy as it seeks to remain relevant in the 21st century. In the coming years, as Kate and other younger royals take on more prominent roles, moments like these will likely shape how they are perceived both within the family and by the public. Will they adhere strictly to tradition, or will they seek to redefine their roles in a way that reflects their own values and the changing expectations of society? The answer to this question will play a crucial role in determining the future of the monarchy. For now, this incident stands as a moment of reflection, not just for the royal family, but for all who follow their story. It highlights the ongoing tension between personal feelings and public expectations, a theme that has run through the history of the British monarchy. As the world watches how this situation unfolds, it will be interesting to see how the royal family navigates this latest challenge and what it reveals about the future direction of the institution. Ultimately, the story of the British royal family is one of endurance, adaptation, and the constant balancing act between tradition and change. In a shocking turn of events, King Charles III has stepped down from his role as the monarch of the British royal family. This unprecedented move has sent shockwaves through the United Kingdom and around the world. Camilla, Queen Consort, has reportedly been deeply affected by this development, with sources close to the palace describing her as being in tears. This decision marks a significant moment in British history, altering the future of the monarchy in ways that were previously unimaginable. The announcement came after a series of private meetings within the royal family, leading to the king's official abdication. The news of King Charles III stepping down as the monarch of the British royal family has reverberated across the globe, marking a historic moment in the centuries-old institution. This decision, which has taken many by surprise, was made following a series of private discussions within the royal family. The gravity of the situation is evident, as sources close to Buckingham Palace have revealed that Queen Consort Camilla has been deeply moved by the decision, with reports indicating that she has been brought to tears by the turn of events. King Charles' decision to abdicate has not only shaken the foundations of the monarchy, but has also left the public and royal watchers in a state of disbelief. After years of waiting in the wings, as the heir apparent, Charles ascended to the throne, following the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. His reign, though short, has been marked by attempts to modernize the monarchy and address the changing dynamics of British society. However, his decision to step down comes as a significant departure from royal tradition, where abdications are rare and often carry considerable implications. In the days leading up to the announcement, there were whispers of tension and uncertainty within the royal household. Insiders have suggested that Charles faced mounting pressure, both from within the family and from external forces, to reconsider his role. The king's health, public opinion, and the future of the monarchy were reportedly central to these discussions. Despite the challenges, many believed that Charles would continue to fulfill his duties as monarch. However, the final decision to abdicate indicates the weight of the considerations he had to bear. Camilla, who has stood by Charles's side for decades, is said to have been particularly affected by the decision. As Queen Consort, she has faced her own share of public scrutiny and challenges. The prospect of Charles stepping down from the throne has added a personal dimension to the situation, amplifying the emotional toll it has taken on her. Those close to the couple have described Camilla as being visibly distressed, struggling to come to terms with the new reality of their lives. Her tears are a testament to the profound impact this decision has had on those within the royal circle. The implications of King Charles's abdication are vast and complex. For the royal family, it means a sudden shift in the line of succession, with Prince William now poised to take on the role of king sooner than anticipated. This change is likely to have far-reaching consequences for the monarchy, as William's vision for the future may differ significantly from that of his father. The British public, too, is grappling with the news, as they come to terms with the idea of another transition in leadership so soon after the passing of Queen Elizabeth. Internationally, the decision has prompted reactions from world leaders and royal families across the globe. The British monarchy has long been a symbol of continuity and stability, and the abdication of a sitting monarch is a rare and significant event. Allies and observers alike are now closely watching the developments in the UK, seeking to understand the motivations behind Charles's decision and what it means for the future of one of the world's most well-known institutions. In the wake of the announcement, the media has been abuzz with speculation and analysis.
This particular phase in my life is the most dangerous. Someone, the name blacked out, is planning an accident in my car.
Something has come to light that no one ever saw coming. A note, written by Princess Diana herself, has been found in FBI files, hidden away for years. And what it says is truly shocking. For decades, people have wondered about her tragic death. There have been rumors, theories, and questions with no clear answers. But this note? It changes everything. It reveals fears she had, warnings she gave, things that now seem impossible to ignore. Why was it kept secret for so long? Who wanted it hidden? And most importantly, what does this mean for everything we thought we knew? What does the note say? Princess Diana's story has always been full of mystery, but this new discovery takes things to another level. A note, handwritten by Diana herself, has been found in secret FBI documents. But what exactly does it say? At first glance, the letter is shocking. It talks about her deep emotional struggles and hints at something even more unsettling. Some believe it is a suicide note. Others think it might be something else entirely. But before we jump to conclusions, we need to break it down carefully. Did Diana express suicidal thoughts? This is the biggest question. Did Princess Diana really want to take her own life? The note reportedly describes feelings of isolation, fear, and deep sadness. It talks about how she felt like she had no control over her own life. It even suggests that she was overwhelmed to the point where she didn't know how much longer she could keep going. But here's the twist. The wording of the note is not clear-cut. Some experts say it sounds like a cry for help rather than a final goodbye. It's the kind of letter someone writes when they feel trapped, not necessarily when they are ready to give up. Diana had spoken about feeling alone before. She had opened up about her struggles with depression, bulimia, and anxiety. She once said that she felt like a prisoner inside the royal family. So, was this note just another moment where she was expressing her pain? Or was it something more serious? This is where things get complicated. When and where was this note written? The timing of this letter is very important. If Diana wrote it during her divorce from Prince Charles, it would make sense why she was feeling so low. That was one of the hardest times in her life. She was dealing with constant media attention, betrayal, and public humiliation. Imagine this. One day, you're the most loved woman in the world, and the next, you're being pushed out of the royal family. That's exactly what happened to Diana. She had given everything to her marriage. But Charles had been in love with Camilla Parker Bowles the whole time. When the truth finally came out, Diana was devastated. She was also losing her title, her home, and even her sense of security. The royal family was cutting her off, and the press was making things worse. Could this note have been written in the middle of all that? Or was it written even later, when she had finally found love with Dodi Fayed? That changes everything. If she had written it while she was happy, then why would she be thinking about ending her life? The FBI hasn't revealed the exact date of the note yet, and that's what makes this so frustrating. The timeline could tell us whether Diana was truly suicidal, or if this was just a moment of overwhelming stress. Was the handwriting authentic? Now, here's where things get even more suspicious. How do we even know this note is real? Experts have analyzed the handwriting, and from the first look, it does seem to match Diana's usual style. But there are also some strange differences. Some letters don't look quite right. The spacing feels off in certain parts. Now, we have to ask, could someone have forged this letter? If the letter was truly written by Diana, then it is a painful reminder of her struggles. But if it was fake, who would want to create a fake suicide note? And more importantly, why? We have seen cases before where documents related to Diana have been altered. Remember the infamous BBC Panorama interview? It was later revealed that Diana was tricked into giving that interview through fake documents. If people were willing to lie to Diana back then, who's to say they wouldn't lie about this note now? Some theorists believe this letter conveniently appeared to change the way people see Diana's death. If people believe she was suicidal, it takes attention away from the theory that she was murdered. Could this be part of a larger cover-up? How does this compare to Diana's "they are planning my accident" letter? This is where things get really eerie. In 1995, Diana wrote another famous letter to her butler, Paul Burrell. In it, she said something shocking. "My husband is planning an accident in my car, brake failure and serious head injury." This letter became one of the biggest pieces of evidence for people who believe Diana was assassinated. She had predicted that something would happen to her in a car crash, 2 years before she actually died in a car crash. Now, let's compare the two notes. The 1995 letter clearly shows that Diana believed someone was out to get her. She wasn't suicidal. She was scared. She thought people were plotting against her. The newly found letter seems to suggest the opposite, that Diana was feeling hopeless and might have wanted to harm herself. Do you see how these two letters completely contradict each other? One letter says Diana was fighting for her life because people were targeting her. The other suggests she had given up and was thinking of ending things herself. Which one are we supposed to believe? If Diana had truly been planning to take her own life, then why would she have written that first letter warning about a staged accident? You don't write a note predicting your own murder if you actually plan to harm yourself later. This is why many people don't trust this newly found letter. Some believe it was planted to make Diana's death look less suspicious. After all, if people think she was already struggling, then her tragic end wouldn't seem so strange. It's a way of silencing the murder theories without actually proving anything. But if Diana did write both letters, then this is even more heartbreaking. It would mean she lived in a constant state of fear, sadness, and paranoia, believing that both the world and her own mind were working against her. So, what is the truth? That's the hardest part. We don't know yet. What we do know is that Diana's life was never simple. She was either the most loved woman in the world or the most hunted. She had moments of deep pain, but she also had moments of hope. If this letter is real, then it shows just how much she was struggling. But if it's fake, then someone is still trying to control her story, years after her death. One thing is certain, the mystery of Princess Diana is far from over. Was Diana being watched? First, we need to talk about something that not many people know. Princess Diana was being watched, and not just by the British government, but also by the US intelligence agencies. Now, you might be thinking, why would the FBI or the CIA care about Diana? She wasn't a politician. She wasn't a world leader. She wasn't involved in government affairs. She was a princess who spent her time helping charities and taking care of her 2 sons. But here's the thing, Diana was powerful. Not in a political way, but in a way that scared powerful people. She had the ability to change public opinion overnight. She could speak about a cause, and suddenly the whole world would care. She spoke about things that many people in power didn't want to be talked about. Things like landmines, AIDS awareness, and even corruption. There's one more thing. At the time of her death, Diana was dating Dodi Fayed, an Egyptian billionaire. There were rumors, big, loud rumors, that they were about to get married. Some even believed she was pregnant with his child. Now, let's be real. The British royal family did not like this relationship. Imagine the future King of England, Prince William, having a Muslim stepfather and possibly even a half-sibling who was part Arab. For the monarchy, which had a long history of keeping things traditional, this was a huge deal. So, Diana wasn't just a princess. She was someone who could change history. And that's why she was watched. The US government's secret involvement now, this is where things get even stranger. The FBI has never openly admitted to watching Diana, but the CIA? Well, they slipped up. In 1999, 2 years after her death, the CIA confirmed that they had over 1,000 pages of files on Diana. Yes, you heard that right, 1,000 pages. And guess what? They refused to release most of them. The official reason? National security. Wait, what? National security? Why would a British princess's personal life be a national security issue for the United States? That's the big mystery. Some believe that Diana's campaign against landmines put her on the radar of military groups. Others think that her relationship with Dodi Fayed was what made her a target. And some even go as far as saying that certain governments didn't want her around anymore. But here's where things get even creepier. Among the few documents that were released, there were reports that Diana believed she was being spied on. She had even told her friends that she felt her phone was tapped. And now, years later, we find out that the FBI had a note that she wrote? That's not a coincidence. How was this note discovered? Now let's get to the big part. How was this note even found? Well, it wasn't found in some old storage box. It wasn't lying in a pile of forgotten papers. It was hidden in classified files. The note was part of a batch of secret FBI documents that were only released because of a Freedom of Information Act request. This means that someone had to fight to get these documents unsealed. They weren't just randomly given to the public. For decades, nobody knew this note even existed. It was tucked away, buried in files that nobody had access to. Which makes you wonder, was this information intentionally kept from the public? And if so, why? Was this note suppressed? Now, here's where things get really weird. If this note was so important, why was it hidden for so long? There are only two possible reasons. One, it was just forgotten. It got buried in the middle of thousands of other classified documents, and nobody thought it was important enough to release. But let's be honest. Does that sound likely? This is Princess Diana we're talking about. Every little detail about her life has been analyzed and discussed for years. If there was a note like this, it would have been found much earlier. Which brings us to the second reason, and this one is more disturbing. The note was suppressed on purpose. Think about it. If this note had been released years ago, what would have happened? If it contained anything that supported the theory that Diana was being watched, manipulated, or even threatened, then suddenly, all the conspiracy theories wouldn't seem so crazy anymore. If it suggested that she was struggling mentally in a way that was never made public, then people would start questioning everything about the official story of her death. The bottom line is this: someone didn't want this note to come out, and now that it has, it raises more questions than it answers. So, what does this note really mean? Does it prove Diana was struggling so much that she wanted to take her own life? Or does it make the mystery of her death even deeper? Let's be honest. Since the day Princess Diana died, people have had their doubts. The official story says she was in a car accident while trying to escape the paparazzi. But for years, many believed that it wasn't an accident at all. People said she was murdered. Some believed the royal family was behind it. Others thought powerful forces wanted her gone. But now, with this note coming to light, things have taken an unexpected turn. If Diana really wrote a letter hinting at suicide, does that mean all those theories were wrong? Could it be that she was truly in emotional pain and no one listened? Or, and this is a big or, was this note planted? Was it written under pressure? Was someone trying to build a case even before she died? Does this note challenge the assassination theory? For years, Diana herself believed she was being watched. She once told her butler, Paul Burrell, that she feared for her life. She even wrote a letter predicting that she would die in a car crash. That letter is real. It's been public knowledge for a long time. In it, she said that someone was planning to tamper with her car's brakes. Now, if someone was planning to harm her, why would she also write a note about suicide? These two things don't really match, do they? If this note is real, then some people will say, see? Maybe she wasn't murdered. Maybe she was just deeply sad, and the accident was truly an accident. But is it really that simple? The people who believe she was killed still have questions. They ask, if this note existed all along, why are we only hearing about it now? Why did the FBI have it? And why would a woman who was full of life, a woman who had just started a new relationship, suddenly write a note about ending it all? It just doesn't sit right. If Diana was truly in danger, it's possible that this note was a distraction, a way to make sure that if something happened to her, people wouldn't suspect foul play. And that makes you wonder, was this note really written by Diana? Or does this prove she was under psychological pressure? Let's consider something else. What if this note doesn't mean she planned to harm herself, but instead, it shows the emotional pain she was in? Diana had been through a lot. Her marriage to Prince Charles was a disaster. She felt alone in the royal family. She battled bulimia, depression, and an overwhelming amount of media pressure. Every single thing she did was watched. Every mistake was put on the front page of a newspaper. Every emotion was judged. Imagine being in that position. Imagine feeling like you have no escape. Now add to that the fact that Diana was speaking out. She had done that famous interview with the BBC where she said, "There were 3 of us in this marriage." She was open about her struggles. She was trying to break free from the royal family's control. And we all know how dangerous it can be when powerful people don't want the truth to come out. Could it be that Diana was being pushed into a mental state where she felt completely helpless? Could she have written this note during one of her lowest moments, not because she actually wanted to end her life, but because she felt like she had no one to turn to? Or, and this is where it gets really dark, was someone making sure she felt that way? Was she being harassed or manipulated into despair? This is something we need to think about. We already know that Diana felt like she was being watched. She had told people that her phones were bugged. She felt like she was being followed. And here's the thing, she wasn't wrong. There have been reports that intelligence agencies were keeping tabs on her. MI6, the British intelligence service, was known to have files on Diana. The FBI had documents on her. The CIA had some records too. The big question is, why? Why were all these intelligence agencies watching a woman who was no longer even a part of the royal family? Some believe it was because of her relationship with Dodi Fayed. He was the son of a billionaire, a man with powerful international connections. There were rumors that Diana and Dodi were going to get married. Some even speculated that she was pregnant. Now, if that was true, it could have caused major problems for the royal family. Think about it. A future king's mother married to a man from a different religious and cultural background? It might not sound like a big deal now, but back then, to the people in power, it could have been. So, was Diana being pushed into a state of despair? Was she being watched so closely that she felt like she had nowhere to go? If someone wanted her out of the picture, could psychological pressure have been part of the plan? And that brings us to the biggest question of all. Did she actually write this note? Or was it written for her? Could this note have been written under duress? This is where things get even murkier. Let's say for a moment that Diana did write this note. But let's also consider that she may not have done it freely. Imagine a scenario where someone close to her convinced her to write it. Maybe they told her, "Write down how you're feeling. It'll help." Maybe they said, "If something happens, people should know you were struggling." But what if that person wasn't looking out for her? What if this note was meant to be used later? And here's something else. What if she didn't write it at all? Handwriting analysis can tell us a lot, but let's be real. Forensics can be manipulated. If someone wanted a document that made Diana's death look like a result of her own struggles, it wouldn't be impossible to create one. That might sound extreme, but we've seen cover-ups before. Powerful people protect their own. If there was something bigger going on, a simple note could help rewrite the narrative. Which brings us to the next big player in this story. The role of the British monarchy and intelligence agencies. If Diana's note was written willingly, it shows her mental state. If it wasn't, it opens up an entirely different conversation. Either way, this note being in the FBI's possession means one thing. Princess Diana was under surveillance. The British monarchy has always denied involvement in Diana's death. They say the crash was a tragic accident. But if Diana really was being watched, we have to ask. Were they worried about what she might do next? Did they fear that she was going to expose something? Did they see her as a threat? MI6 has been accused of having a role in her death before. Some former intelligence officers have even claimed that Diana's car crash was no accident. If there was ever a moment to shift the blame away, wouldn't a suicide note be the perfect tool? This note doesn't just change the story, it raises 100 more questions. Was Diana being watched to keep her safe, or to keep her quiet? If she really wrote this note, was it a desperate cry for help? Or was she being pushed into thinking she had no other way out? And most importantly, if this note had never been revealed, would we have ever known about it at all? What do you think? Does this note change your opinion on what really happened to her? Or do you believe there's still something we're not being told? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts. And if you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll keep following the truth, no matter where it leads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
She was the villain. She was the third person in the marriage. She needed to rehabilitate her image.
You and your brother both directly asked your dad not to marry Camilla.
Yes.
Something strange has been found inside Queen Camilla's mansion. Something so shocking that even the FBI couldn't believe their own eyes. For years, everything seemed normal, but behind those fancy walls, a secret was hiding. A secret so big, it could change everything people thought they knew about the royal family. The moment investigators stepped inside, they knew something wasn't right. What they uncovered wasn't just unexpected, it was something no one was supposed to see. What could be hiding in the home of one of the most powerful women in the world? And why was it kept secret for so long? The presence of FBI agents at Queen Camilla's mansion is not something anyone expected. The Federal Bureau of Investigation deals with major crimes, including international fraud, political scandals, and hidden financial transactions. The fact that they were seen at Ray Mill House, Queen Camilla's private residence, raises many questions. One of the biggest mysteries here is why the FBI, an American agency, would be involved in an issue related to the British royal family. Normally, British authorities like MI5, Scotland Yard, or the Metropolitan Police would handle anything related to the monarchy. But this time, something was different. Something was serious enough to bring in US investigators. There are a few possible reasons why this happened, and each one is more shocking than the last. Could it be international crimes? One of the most common reasons for the FBI to investigate someone outside the United States is money laundering or financial crimes that affect American businesses or banks. The royal family has access to billions of dollars, and not all of it is accounted for publicly. Their wealth comes from taxpayer money, private estates, international business dealings, and secret investments. If something illegal was happening behind the scenes, like money being funneled through hidden accounts or offshore transactions, then the FBI would definitely get involved. There have been whispers in financial circles about large amounts of money moving mysteriously between royal accounts and offshore havens. Could Camilla's mansion have held key documents, bank records, or even secret safes that connect to a larger investigation? If this was the case, the FBI might have been looking for evidence of hidden financial activity, possibly linked to tax evasion, fraud, or even funding controversial international deals. But if it wasn't money, what else could be hidden in the mansion? A hidden royal secret? Camilla's Ray Mill House isn't like Buckingham Palace or Windsor Castle. Those places are heavily guarded, monitored by British security services, and have strict protocols for who can enter. But Raymil House is privately owned by Camilla. That means fewer people watching, fewer restrictions, and more secrecy. If someone wanted to hide something, whether it was stolen artifacts, controversial documents, or even something more personal and damaging, this mansion would be the perfect place. One theory suggests that the FBI might have been looking for classified documents or hidden letters that could expose royal secrets. The British royal family has been in power for centuries, and over that time, there have been many cover-ups, scandals, and untold stories. Could Camilla have been keeping something hidden in her mansion that was never meant to be found? Maybe these were letters from past monarchs, discussing things the public was never supposed to know. Maybe it was evidence of a cover-up related to a major royal scandal. Or maybe, just maybe, it was something that could change the way we see the British monarchy forever. A whistleblower might have tipped off the FBI. The FBI doesn't just investigate random rumors from social media. They need solid evidence before they act. So how did they even get the idea that something suspicious was going on at Camilla's home? One of the most likely explanations is that someone from the inside leaked information. This could be a former royal staff member, a trusted advisor, or even a security official who had access to what was happening behind closed doors. There are a few possibilities. A former employee who saw something unusual and decided to report it. A royal insider. Maybe someone who had a personal reason to bring Camilla down. A legal informant. Someone who had been secretly gathering evidence for law enforcement. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. What if this whistleblower was from Camilla's own circle? Could it have been someone who lost trust in the monarchy? Could it have been someone who was once close to the Queen Consort but later turned against her? Some theories even suggest that Prince Harry could be involved. He has been vocal about his struggles with the royal family, and his book Spare exposed many secrets about Camilla, Charles, and the entire royal institution. Could Harry or someone in his team have come across damaging information and decided to take action? Or was it someone completely unexpected? A former royal security officer, a housekeeper, or even a financial advisor who realized they were involved in something too big to stay silent about? Could there be leaked documents? Another shocking possibility is that the FBI was investigating something that had already been leaked, possibly documents that surfaced online or were handed over to authorities by a journalist, a hacker, or even a political figure. We've seen this happen before. When Prince Andrew's ties to Jeffrey Epstein were exposed, it wasn't through direct police work at first. It was because documents, testimonies, and financial transactions were leaked. What if Camilla's name appeared in a classified file that connected her to something controversial? Maybe it wasn't her directly, but it could be someone connected to her. A friend? A family member? A business associate? If the leaked documents contained evidence of corruption, financial fraud, or international deals that broke the law, then the FBI had every reason to step in. Or was there a secret informant? Here's where things take a completely different turn. What if someone was working as an informant for a long time, gathering details, making notes, and waiting for the right moment to strike? Governments and intelligence agencies have used informants for decades to bring down powerful figures. Could this be a political move against the monarchy? Could someone be trying to weaken King Charles III's reign by targeting Camilla first? The royal family has always had power struggles, conflicts, and rivalries. Could this be a move from someone within the institution, a high-level politician, or even a foreign government trying to expose hidden royal dealings? And if there is an informant, who are they protecting? Themselves? The public? Or someone even more powerful? What led the FBI to the mansion? All these possibilities raise the same question. What was the final trigger that made the FBI take action? Was it a piece of leaked evidence that couldn't be ignored? Was it an anonymous tip-off that came from inside the palace? Was it a direct order from a high-ranking official in the US government? Or was it something even bigger than we realize? Something that could take the entire royal institution down? One thing is clear. The FBI does not waste its time. If they showed up at Camilla's mansion, it means that something serious was happening. Something that could shake the entire royal family. The real question is, how deep does this go? And who else is involved? The discovery inside Camilla's mansion. It was a cold, quiet evening when the FBI agents arrived at Queen Camilla's mansion. The grand estate, standing tall and proud, had always been a place of mystery. But on this night, something unusual was about to happen. The black SUVs pulled up in front of the mansion, their headlights cutting through the darkness. Armed agents stepped out, their faces serious. No one expected the FBI to raid a royal estate, yet here they were, ready to uncover something shocking. As the agents reached the massive front doors, there was a heavy silence. The air felt tense, as if the walls themselves were holding secrets. With a loud knock, they announced their presence. The butler, looking pale and confused, hesitated before opening the door. He had served in this mansion for years, but nothing like this had ever happened before. "FBI, we have a warrant," one of the agents said firmly. The butler swallowed hard and stepped aside. As they walked in, the marble floors gleamed under the chandelier's golden light. The mansion was as grand as you'd expect, a home fit for royalty. But the agents weren't there to admire the beauty. They moved quickly, their eyes scanning every detail, looking for the hidden truth. What did they find? The search began in the main hall. The agents spread out, moving from room to room, opening drawers, checking bookshelves, even knocking on walls to see if there were any hidden compartments. At first, everything seemed normal. Just expensive paintings, rare antiques, and lavish furniture. But then, something strange happened. One agent, while inspecting a study room, noticed that one of the bookshelves looked odd. It wasn't placed right. As he reached out and pulled on a book, the entire shelf moved slightly. His heart raced. He signaled his team, and together, they pushed. With a deep, creaking sound, the bookshelf swung open, revealing a hidden doorway. What was behind this secret door? The agents stepped in cautiously, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. The hidden room was small, cold, and filled with old wooden chests. Dust covered everything, but something about this place felt important, like it had been untouched for years, maybe even decades. As they opened the chests one by one, their eyes widened. Inside, they found stacks of old documents, letters, and photographs. Some of them had Princess Diana's name on them. Some had dates from decades ago, letters written in handwriting that looked urgent, desperate. Could these be secret letters Diana had written before her tragic accident? What did they say? The agents carefully took them out, their hands shaking slightly. But that wasn't all. As they searched further, they found jewelry that didn't belong to the current royal collection. Some pieces looked ancient. Others seemed too unique to be just another royal possession. Were these stolen? Were these gifts from powerful people? And if so, why were they hidden? Then came the most shocking discovery yet. In the far corner of the room, beneath an old dusty rug, one agent felt something hard under his foot. He pulled the rug away and found a metal handle. His heartbeat quickened. As he yanked it up, a trapdoor swung open, revealing a dark tunnel leading underground. The secret tunnels beneath the mansion. The agents quickly called for backup before stepping into the unknown. The air inside the tunnel was thick and damp, smelling of earth and something old, something lost in time. The passageway was narrow, just enough for a person to walk through. As they moved forward, their flashlights revealed strange markings on the walls, symbols that didn't make sense. Where did this tunnel lead? After walking for what felt like forever, they found another door. This one was locked, but that didn't stop them. With a strong push, it finally gave way, opening into a hidden underground chamber. And what they found inside was beyond belief. There were files, hundreds of them, stacked on wooden shelves. Some had the names of high-profile politicians, celebrities, and world leaders. Some were marked confidential and sealed tightly. But why were these files hidden beneath Queen Camilla's home? Even more disturbing was a wall filled with photographs. Black and white images of Princess Diana, Prince Charles, young William and Harry, and even members of other royal families from around the world. It was as if someone had been tracking them for years. And then came the biggest shock of all. In the corner of the chamber sat a locked metal box. The agents, now fully aware that they had uncovered something massive, forced it open. Inside, they found audio tapes, letters, and documents that seemed to hint at something sinister, something connected to Diana's tragic death. Could this be the missing piece of a decades-old puzzle? Was there more to Diana's passing than what the world was told? By now, the mansion was crawling with investigators. The items discovered were immediately seized, packed into evidence boxes, and transported away for examination. But the real question was, would the public ever know the full truth? Rumors started flying. Some officials wanted to keep everything secret, while others insisted that the findings should be made public. The palace remained silent, refusing to comment. But one thing was clear. This was not just a simple investigation. This had the potential to shake the very foundation of the British monarchy. Queen Camilla's reaction. As expected, Queen Camilla was furious. The moment she heard about the search, she rushed back to the mansion, demanding answers. Sources say she was seen speaking angrily on the phone, possibly to King Charles or other high-ranking officials. But here's the thing, she didn't seem surprised. It was almost as if she already knew what was in that hidden room. But if that's the case, why was she keeping it a secret? Camilla's public statement was brief. She dismissed the raid as a misunderstanding and claimed the items found had historical significance, but were nothing out of the ordinary. But we all know that's not how the world works. If it was nothing, why was it hidden? Why were there secret tunnels? Why were there documents related to Diana? And most importantly, what happens next? Because if this is just the beginning, then we might be on the edge of one of the biggest royal scandals in history. Could this change everything? Could this have something to do with Princess Diana? Now, this might sound crazy to some, but for years, people have believed that Diana's death wasn't just an accident. Some say she was silenced because she knew too much. Others believe she was planning to expose some dark secrets about the royals. So, here's where it gets interesting. The FBI, yes, the American agency, has never really been involved in the British royal family's affairs like this before. So why now? Why Camilla's mansion? And why did they reportedly seize documents from the property? Could it be possible that those documents contained information that Diana left behind? Maybe letters, secret tapes, or even a journal where she wrote about things she wasn't supposed to talk about. Let's not forget, before she died, Diana herself said that she feared for her life. She even wrote a letter in 1995 to her butler, Paul Burrell, saying, "My husband is planning an accident in my car, brake failure, and serious head injury." This was 2 years before she actually died in a car crash. So, was she warning us? Did she know something that we were never supposed to know? And if she did, could Queen Camilla have been hiding proof of that all these years? Was Camilla being blackmailed? Now let's think about something else. What if this wasn't about Diana exposing the royals, but rather, someone blackmailing Camilla? Camilla has never been a fan favorite. The world loved Princess Diana, and for years, Camilla was seen as the woman who ruined Diana's marriage. Even after Diana's death, people never fully accepted her. But what if Camilla has been keeping secrets to protect herself? Imagine if someone had information about Diana's death or some other hidden royal scandal, something so damaging that it could ruin her and King Charles forever. Wouldn't she do anything to keep that quiet? And if that person tried to blackmail her, demanding money or power in exchange for their silence, wouldn't she need to hide whatever proof they had? Could that be what the FBI found? Maybe secret letters from a blackmailer. Maybe bank transactions showing hush money being paid. Maybe recordings of conversations she didn't want anyone to hear. And here's another thing. Why wasn't the British police involved in this? If something suspicious is going on inside a royal estate, wouldn't it be the UK authorities handling it? Instead, we have the FBI stepping in. Could this mean that this whole thing is bigger than just the UK? Could this involve other countries, powerful leaders, or hidden deals that go beyond just the royal family? And if so, is that why this whole thing feels so secretive? Is this a threat to King Charles's reign? Now, Let's talk about the king himself. King Charles has waited his entire life to be king, and now that he finally sits on the throne, this happens. Could this put his entire reign in danger? If the world suddenly found out that the royal family was hiding something huge, something that could make people lose trust in them, what would happen? The royal family already has problems. People aren't as loyal to them as they used to be. Many in the UK believe the monarchy is outdated, and there have even been talks of abolishing it altogether. If this scandal turns out to be something serious, it could be the final nail in the coffin. And let's not forget, Camilla and Charles have always had a complicated past. If this somehow traces back to Diana, it could make Charles look even worse in the public eye. Would people start demanding answers? Would they question his ability to be king? And could this lead to King Charles stepping down? There's already been whispers that Charles might not rule for long. Some believe he'll pass the throne to Prince William sooner than expected. Could this scandal be the reason why? Is there a cover-up happening right now? If this was just a small issue, wouldn't the royals or the government come out and clear the air? Wouldn't they explain why the FBI was at Camilla's mansion? But instead, silence. No one is talking. No official statement. No denials. Nothing. And we all know what that means. When people stay quiet, it's usually because there's something to hide. Could the media be under pressure to keep things quiet? Could the government be working behind the scenes to bury this whole thing before it spirals out of control? Think about it. This is one of the most powerful families in the world. If something truly damaging was found in Camilla's mansion, would we ever even hear about it? Or would it just disappear like so many other royal scandals before it? Because let's be real, the royal family has a history of making problems go away. From affairs to secret deals, to even Prince Andrew's connections to Jeffrey Epstein, every time something shocking comes out, it just seems to vanish from the headlines after a while. Could this be another case of a royal cover-up? Could we be witnessing something huge, but we just don't realize it yet? And most importantly, what else is being hidden? I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about everything we just talked about? Drop a comment below and let's get the conversation going. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps support the channel. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on what's coming next.